You join us in Austria, then, of course, in the beautiful Austrian countryside for round 9. of the Formula One 2025 World Championship. And it has probably won the shortest, if not the shortest lap in terms of time. The lap record you can see down there from Carlos Sainz back in 2020. We're talking about our lap time, our all-time lap record around here is actually, what is it, Sean? I haven't got it up yet. What? Is actually German of a 103.960, but set back in season 11 then. So that could potentially get broken today because we didn't race in Austria last season, and it's the 12th running of the Austrian Grand Prix. Over the years, and of course, Lucas Percy was the last driver to win around here. I'm not sure if he's racing yet. Then, as we do have a full grid as it stands about 20 minutes ago, but Percy won in season 11. Season 10 was Boxtel. Season 9 was Percy again with 2 wins. Boxtel in season 8, goodness me, and then we had Danger Times in season 7. Everson in season 6, Everson in season 5, Caesar in season 4, Granty Boy in season 3, Granty Boy in season 2, and NWB in season 1. Goodness me, it seems like anyone who wins the championship on that season seems to win this race, doesn't it? Apart from Emerson won it in season 6, and of course German won the championship that year. But anyway, yeah. So it looks like the most winners had 2 apiece. Said with Granty Boy, with Emerson, with Box Tau, and with Lucas Percy. So if Percy does race tonight, which I'm not sure if he is yet, then it will be 3 times then. Yeah, but our lap record is a 103.960. Then of course just under 63, just over 63 seconds. Then indeed. Then anyway, of course, so that is the history of the track. Let's go for the drivers and the constructors standards. Then, as we have got uh-oh. As I thought I deleted it then, that would have been horrific stuff indeed, wouldn't it? There is the driver standings just in front of us now. So, as it stands then, of course, the story of the season so far has been Immortal. Really has indeed then. He's making his 100th Grand Prix start tonight as well. Immortal is in gold. Anyway, of course, he's already made 100. I think he's well past 100 now. As, of course, being the 100% race event winner. I think it was the first ever 100% champion, wasn't he? In the event a few seasons ago. But Time Swift Ninja did bounce back after a bit. Of course, Immortal still finished quite decently in the points last week, but Time Swift Ninja has narrowed the gap down to 32 points then. 50 points for MHD then. As I thought he was having a countdown now, goodness me. Of course, MHD then, of course, on 102 points, 50 points adjusted. He's still, I think MHD is still very much in a fight and chance of the championship. We ain't even at halfway distance yet, so anyone can still win it in theory. Brabbit on at 68 points, so 59 points for Flippy. PZ on 45 points, 44 points for Menace today. I think Menace has got a milestone as well, so I'll read that in a minute. 36 points then for Van Von. 22 points for Troy. 24 points for Troy. 22 points for Lights. 22 points for Box Tau. Then 14-point gap between Box Tau and Equals. 8 points for Equals. 4 points for Nameless. Then we have Chaza on 2. 2 for Knowlesy. 1 for Morris. 1 for Cam. Then Legends, Delano, and Mumford still yet to score. In terms of the grid, I think this is one of the lowest scoring seasons ever in terms of how many drivers have scored so far. Because there is I think 12th downwards, and it's still on single figures in terms of championship points scored, which is quite astonishing to say the least, isn't it? Constructors Championship, Race of Bulls, first season technically as the name then, isn't it? Of course, Race of Bulls have been AlphaTauri, have been Toro Rosso, have also been RB, the worst name in F1 history, in my opinion, of a team name. Having said that, I might retract my statement if I think about that. But Racing Bulls have 5 points in front of Alpine, who have been absolutely fantastic. Peas and MHD have been brilliant. Kick Sauber in third position on 120 points, 32 points adrift. Haas on 69, nice. Points in fourth position, 61 points for McLaren, 44 for Ferrari and Red Bull Racing. At their home track tonight, Red Bull hoping to get some good points there with Equals and Van Von hoping to get in the higher echelons of the top 10. 41 points there for Mercedes and 26 for Williams and Aston Martin. Horror show of the season so far. Currently 1 point so far from both drivers of Nameless and Cam there. However, of course, Nameless has only just scored recently, then, so hopefully he can now start to really get on the get on the high scoring stakes. And then in the joint constructors, is 136 for Alpine, 30 points in front of McLaren and 40 points in front of Williams so far. It's so close in the joint construction. It's great stuff indeed. But I'm sure it's very close this time last season. And it started then, I can't remember which team won it now, but then they started to run away with it. Racing Bulls in fourth. Fifth position is Kick Sauber, Aston Martin in sixth, both on 288, then 172, 131 for Ferrari, 172 for Red Bull, 170 for Haas, and Mercedes finally got into the triple figures last time out in bronze, which means that they are still 10th, sadly, after what has been a pretty trying season so far. Here in this season so far. But however, of course, as we said, we're only about halfway through the World Championship. Then it's still a long way to go. Then, of course, we are here in the beautiful mountains of Austria. We are expecting, well, I'm expecting rain. It's certainly one of the times then throughout the course of this event. Then, of course, either tonight, tomorrow, or Sunday. Of course, a very simple circuit, isn't it? 3 DRS zones around this circuit, a 4.3 kilometers long, or 2.6 miles there. 10 turns then, albeit I don't really count the turn 2 because that's more of a MotoGP thing rather than an F1 thing. But yes, that is the circuit. And of course, when we was doing that preview just a few moments ago, it was, a few days ago, of course, it was heavy rain, and I am expecting heavy rain probably sometime throughout the course of the next couple of days or so. I've got my electric bill stuck on my controller, which is not good, is it? Right. Hello everyone. Hello, let go. Nolsey then. As we've also got a happy Sunday everyone as well. Good morning everyone. Oh, sorry, good evening everyone. Says Light said. And good luck, please rain. Says Light said. And Equals ALR as well. Thank you very much. We've got a new subscriber as well. Which hang on. Let me find that new subscriber because I read it. I need to read this person out. Flawless Dino subscribed to us on Tuesday. So welcome to the show, Flawless Dino. Fantastic to have your subscription, which means we are now only 4 away from the magical 700, which, to be honest, it feels like we've been trying to get there forever and a day. Hopefully we'll get there sooner rather than later. Of course, as I'll be over the moon, and if that's the case, I'm going to buy myself some ice cream, which is really cool stuff indeed, which, to be honest, actually, I probably should have ice cream, should I? But there we go. Anyway, happy 60th Grand Prix start tonight for Sam Swift Ninja. Of course, in 60 Grand Prix start, or 59 Grand Prix starts before tonight. 27 Grand Prix wins, 10 pole position, 41 podiums. Sam Swift Ninja is very much rewriting the history books. Of course, the first ever triple world champion in ALR history, and did it 3 times in a row as well. Pretty impressive stuff. We do seem to have the history of ALR. We seem to always have a champion that, if we have a multiple champion, they always win it simultaneously, but then there's never been able to reclaim it after losing it. So maybe that could be something on the slot chip for Sam Swift Ninja or Troy, or Percy, if Percy comes back in as a full-time seat holder in the not too distant future. Here comes Van Von, as he said that tonight. That all going. I thought that was going to be a track and validation there, but Van Von doing a good job there to keep it within limits. And a 3:05 then to set us on our journey in this qualifying session here tonight. This is a very short circuit. Then of course I think that we're going to have a lot of traffic issues around this one tonight then, and of course but luckily they've got a bit of gravel now on the outside, so as much as we may get some issues with track limits there, as Nameless has got a very badly understeering Aston Martin there. That Aston Martin was not compliant at all there, which is a bit of a worry. Boxed out then in the middle part of the lap as well. Of course, 3 DRS zones around this circuit, as we mentioned already. Start finish straight on the back straight from 1 into 3, and then of course 3 down into 4 as well. Van Bon has gone, is still faster than Nameless is half a second away from Van Bon, so the Red Bull driver there maybe feeling they've got a bit of a home advantage potentially, the Red Bull team up in the Red Bull ring. But Boxtel then goes within 0.3 of a second there. Of course, a multiple Grand Prix winner in history around this circuit. So, but of course, that was many moons ago. As we got Morris, who's on the hard tyres. You don't usually see the hard tyres in qualifying, but I'm wondering then if Morris is going to try and see what he can do out there tonight, and see if he can get his eye in then potentially. As we got lights out, the car is bounces up and down there. Anyway, where was I? Also, 25th start tonight there for MHD. Happy 25th there for MHD then. Of course, a pole sitter, but not a race winner so far. Happy 100th start tonight for Chazza, who's currently in the pit lane at the moment there. Of course, Chazza, two-time pole sitter, 11 podiums as well. Across the line goes Young Lights going at third fastest. Good stuff indeed there. As Delano goes 7th fast. Well, here comes the man who's also on 100 Grand Prix starts as well then. And where is he? There he is. So yes, 8 Grand Prix win cycles, but Malta has been the cream of the crop this season. But of course, we are only on round 9 then, and there is a bit of a he came a bit unstuck in Canada a week ago. So let's see what Malta can do and how he can bounce back, because I think that's the first of the that's the first race where he's been in a bit of difficulties this season. So interesting to see how he does that, and interesting to see how Soundsurf Ninja can build on that Grand Prix win from last week. Then that was his first Grand Prix win since round 2 of Japan earlier on this season. Then, but yes, a multiple 99 Grand Prix starts. 100 Grand Prix starts 9, but he's had 8 wins, 25 pole positions, of course the most in gold history for Malta. Currently second at the moment, as Van Von is still the fastest driver out there. 3-1 podiums as well. They're in fast laps, and of course only 2 driver of the days, which I'm surprised by, to be fair. But having said that, in history of Grand Prix racing, the driver of the days normally get flung out to drivers that normally near the back of the field. So usually it's drivers who make up the most positions to get driver of the day, which sometimes is probably a bit unfair on the drivers that need to stand up at the seat of that F1 car. By the way, happy 70th Grand Prix as well to Morris today as well, of course. So he's out there on the hard tyres at the moment. 1 Grand Prix win with 2 pole positions as well. Got a lot of milestones in Austria tonight. I love that. Fantastic. I don't think that's anyone else. I don't think there's anyone else out there as well. Lucas Percy also in the field as well. 116th start tonight for Lucas Percy as well, as he is replacing one of the racing board drivers, but I haven't seen who it is yet then. Right, I'm back onto me this season spreadsheet as well, which is good stuff, because I can't remember my bottom from the album sometimes. Across the line there goes, I don't know, it was Bravo I think it was, but MHD or Nick Candish goes into 4th fast at the moment. Great season for Nick Candish. Has the question I've been thinking about though over the past couple of days, because I'm a bit of a sad man, is this championship challenge there for Malta, and certainly even at Nick Candish, I think, is in the championship challenge as well. Has this come out of nowhere, or it's just been a build-up over the past couple of seasons? Now here comes the triple world champion, goes 7th fast at the moment now. Only 4/10 of a second away, but that is only 7th on the grid at the moment. Now, of course, we don't have knockout qualifying in ALR Grand Prix race anymore, as Percy's gone into 10th fastest, made that 11th now, as Troy is back into 8th position. A bit of a difficult time in the Williams car for Troy, who's currently 8th position. So that's been my question, is been whether this performance from Malta and from MHD has come out of nowhere. I'm not too sure, to be honest, because I feel that Malta really was starting to put together a really tidy campaign towards the end of last season and getting runner-up spot. Even though we did think that the gulf between Soundswift Ninja and the rest of the field might have been very difficult to close, but this is, of course, a new handling model as such, and a new Grand Prix game then. But so maybe not then. But basically, all that mumbo jumbo, I don't really know. Right, where am I? Good luck gold then, that says Coop said. Equal said, sorry I quit Canada, I got a wrong for drive-through penalty, but I hope I have a better word to say. Equal said, don't worry about that, Equals, I must admit I forgot about that, but you've named and shamed yourself there. I mean, how dare you pit and quit? I've never pit and quit, apart from the Spanish Grand Prix a couple of seasons ago, but in my defence I was not very well, and also, but sadly I still got me licence points. I think that's my one and only licence point, believe it or not, of the driver's license at the boat, I think, anyway. Maybe. But anyway, luckily I don't count those things then, because, yeah. That's the negativity that I don't want to think about. Chaz in his 100th Grand Prix starts line 10th finish there. I can't remember the last time that Chaz had a pole position, you know. I keep thinking Japan, season 5. Van Von is gone into fastest. Then just lower the bar ever so slightly. He is still in front of Flippy, who snuck his way up into 2nd position, whilst I've been waffling on then. Equals are currently 18th on the grid at the moment. At 10.7, so Equals is not putting a representative time just yet. Serious Russian, evening ladies, good evening to you, Sir Mushroom. Good evening, good sir. Goddamn Cap says Coops at his head. Coops was shouting at us, said either that's excitement or frustration. Hopefully less excitement, and as Coop got his first podium of his career in silver last weekend, I believe. It is, isn't it? I think it is. I'm doing it off memory then, so if that's wrong, I'm completely sorry. Nameless, who getting some points the other week, goes 12 fastest at the moment. Did Nameless get points last time out then? Hang on, let me find him. Lean forward, Sean. Oh, yeah, he got points in Spain, where I was Skyping. So Nameless said, I'm hoping to get some more points on the board. It is Lucas Percy, who's 2 seconds down in the first sector, though, so I'm not too sure about that. Legend said, who's had a strong last couple of seasons, but unfortunately this season, I don't think the kick Sauber has been very helpful for Legends this season. That's, unfortunately, just tackling turn 3 now. Equal's much better time there, goes 6.5 seconds improvement to slot himself into 14th on the grid. That's not bad. Oh, Mortal's pole position, and of course he's already got 25 of them in his career, only for 26 in-going ALR gold tonight. Of course, on it, 100 Grand Prix start as well, which is a pole position one every 4 Grand Prix, if the mental arithmetic is right. Take that with a pinch of salt, though, because, of course, let's be honest about it, me maths and meth is not very good. Turn off the caps. Tonight, tomorrow, or Sunday. What kind of English is that, Sean? I never studied English. Actually, I did study English. Did I pass English? I did on the second attempt. I had to redo it in college. Unfortunately, and ironically, I messed around. Don't follow this, any of you younger folks out there. But yes, I tried really hard in my GCSE. Is it even still called GCSEs? Gosh, I'm showing my age here. If it is still called GCSEs, I did try really hard in year 11 of trying to take it first time. The second time in my college years, let's just be honest about it, I was a bit of a terror, to be fair, as I was just there. Winding people up and decided that it's quite funny to draw male genitalia all over my mate's workbook. So there you go. But I did pass it the second time around, and also because I'm a weird guy and I think it's funny. Pease goes 15th fastest. Lights out there at the moment in 11th position. By the way, don't do that. Of course, study hard, and of course, otherwise you'll end up like me. Right, where am I? Gosh. Every day is F1 mushy then. True then. Podium Nosey then. Podium overrated. Oh, win with fast. That's no problem then. Of course, remember that I like to bring this fact up because I think I always remember the bad stuff, don't I? I wish I remembered more good stuff, but Nosey should have and could have won the opening 2 races around here, couldn't he? As Morris out on the circuit road, but invalidated his time again. Flippy is attacking the circuit now at the top of the hill. Of course, Nosey could have and should have won the opening 2 races here in Season 1 and Season 2. But in both races, it rained in both races in the final stint, and it caught Nosey out. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to win this Grand Prix. I think Nosey's got 3 wins of his career. He probably should have had 5 back then as well. Of course, Nosey was a championship contender all those many moons ago. Then, of course, when we had black and white TV, as we go over the moon, over the crest of the hill now for Flippy. Flows it into 9. My gosh, he's coming in the pits anyway. I got to say, that's that is one way to get in the pits. I'll probably say that's probably one of the fastest ways to get in the pits as well. My goodness gracious me. But I'm going to be honest there. I think that the McLaren overalls, I'm sure they're black around the rear posterior area. Otherwise, I think that he might have had to have a change of overalls there. Troy goes into 5th faster. Troy, for the first time in a very long time, looks much more competitive than the Season 8 World Champion. That's really good stuff indeed. We're just taking a look at the current champion, Soundswift Ninja, that nips it into turn 1. That car looking very oversteery on the rear there. Where am I? That would do. We got Morrison. Marc Marquez won in Austria. His first win on that circuit, says Indigo. Decent race in MotoGP. I'm going to be honest, it's a bit like Lewis Hamilton though, isn't it, Marc Marquez, where he seems to have won in almost won on every single circuit. Of course, MotoGP does have that chicane, does it, that's supposed to reduce speeds after that horrific shunt. Was it last season or season 4, Mushroom? I can't remember. Morris, I can't remember, to be honest. My MotoGP knowledge is gone a bit wayward, especially when they went over to TNT or BT Motorsports. I'm a bit cheap, you see, so I refuse to pay for another sports package. The only reason why I'm paying for Sky Sports, to be fair, or Now TV, is basically because Formula 1's on there. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to watch any football either. Coming out as a Van Vaught has gone pole position then. We just had the 4 minutes to go, but Sam Swift Ninja, much better time for the champion. and goes 4th fastest there. But we need to look at this man here because he is currently on pole position for the Austrian Grand Prix. And the Red Bull is in a very sweet spot at the moment. And that's great to see. His teammate is a 2-10 second up. Here comes Percy there. Goodness me, throw caution against the wall. And here is the former champion from season 9, 6th fastest. What about Equals? And it's the heat is starting to rise in the UK and also starting to rise in Austria into 9 in the pits. So Equals are just teasing us there. Delano out on circuit. Also out on circuit that is Morris. So Morris is on an outlap, as is Delano. Both 18th and 20th as it stands at the moment, but Morris has not set a time yet. And Delano is only going for a second time run now. Gotta watch out for this. 4 tenths around here is like a second everywhere else. And pit and sniffle there. Says Serious Bush in there. How dare you? I was very ill. Even though, to be honest, if I ever am allowed to hand out a license point, I would just hand out a license point to Farf anyway. It's just revenge for giving me that license point then. I don't hold a grudge, I swear. Delano now is going to start his lap into turn 1 whilst we're watching Delano. Let's be on the points there. Next race at Valenton Park for MotoGP. New track. I'm going to be honest, I'm so sorry, Morris. I think I might have butchered that then. I don't know, where is that? Is that in... No, they already race in Thailand, don't they? I bought the MotoGP game earlier on this year, but I must admit I've only played it for about 4 or 5 hours because I must admit I'm too old to play video games at the moment. I just can't get into it, sadly. They've raced there in a World Superbike. Then I would like to know where the that circle is. Maybe I could just Google it, to be honest, but I'm lazy, Morris, so apologies about that. Pole is a 1-3, says Mayran. And how does that compare to last season then? Of course, we've got yellow flags out there. I kind of ignore yellow flags in the qualifying. In the race, though, I always get very excited. So pole, that would be half a second quicker than Immortal, who was the last man on pole position here back in season 11, 2 seasons ago. That just shows the development of the modern Formula 1 machine. Across the line, there goes Delano, goes at 16th fastest there. Morris then is just about to finish his lap then, but he's invalidated. That car looks very difficult to drive for Morris, who's just on board with him for just a brief second there, but that car is so understeery, it's just not going into the corners at all, is it? Boxed out on circuit, lights is at the top of the hill then. Right, where was I? Hi, says Farfed. Always excitement, Sean. Then absolutely, of course, we do love some excitement in ALR, especially on Sundays. Then we've also got Farf or Smithy. It's Farf as always, and of course, our TV's no longer black and white. Then even into Farf as well. Then of course, I hope Farf didn't hear me moaning about the license points to get me in bronze a few seasons ago. Across comes lights then as well, as I go over the brow of the hill as well then, and now flinging it into, goodness gracious me, Lights said, I've got to say, he's been struggling with the hand in that car. Of course, not a very clean turn of the wheel, but Lights goes 7th fastest. I need to sit down and shut up because that's a great time there for young Lights. Up in 2 at 7th finish as he goes off the circuit, and I've completely lost where I was because I was following someone else. Flippy is abandoning his time out there. Boxstars on the lap. Also, Nick Candice on the lap as well. Immortal started his lap there, but there's cars all over the show there. That's the problem with this circuit. It is so condensed here. Oh, Troy is off the circuit. That's his final run done. He was in a very good space there, was Troy, but a lapse of concentration maybe, or was that just more out of qualifying? But Troy is done in this qualifying, and that is not ideal at all. Sam Swift Ninja then, who's coming out of the front turn. Unless Troy's got some fuel on that car, actually, or might be Knowlesy out of qualifying as well then. So Dylan at 17th, 18th Legends, 19th Knowlesy, 20th is Morris. Legends is still out on circuit then, as Troy is retired from the session, so that is it for Legends then. As we're just watching Pease all the way down in 14th position, and that's disappointing for Pease then. Equel stays in 16th position as well. That's not ideal for unfortunately, for Equel's Nameless is invalidated his time then, so that's all done and dusted. What about Bravitt? A most recent first time Grand Prix in the third fastest there for the former silver champion. Off into 3rd position. I've kicked the bottle. Immortal is not on pole position. He's invalidated. Van Von carrying on pole position for this circuit here. Soundswift Ninja is on a lap at the moment. And Flippy's retired for the session down in 7th position there. Oh my goodness me. Boxhouse invalidating. No, he's just coming to the pits there. Soundswift Ninja. What about Knee Candice? Knee Candice is crawling. I think he's in the pits. He is in the pits. limits, and Sam Swift Ninja then throws it in. We're on board the world champion now into turn 10 as well. He's run wide, he's invalidated. It's all over for Sam Swift Ninja. And what about Menace? And Menace also invalidated as well. That is track limits at the absolute peak then, and it is going to be Van Von on pole position then for the Austrian Grand Prix. And how many pole positions has Van Von had in his career, I hear you ask? That is his first pole position of his career? No way. That's incredible. So Van Von on pole position then for the first time in his career, which I'm not sure if that's right, because I thought you already had a pole position. Goodness me, Sean, you need to get yourself sorted. But anyway, yes, pole position number 1 for Van Von then, and pole position here in the Austrian Grand Prix. Fantastic stuff indeed then. So Van Von, for himself and for Red Bull, takes his first pole position of the season. And lovely stuff indeed. And look at the gaps there, like 81 hundredths of a second separates those two at the top there. Immortal then just come up short here today, but goodness me, but he's in front of his championship rival in a teammate though. Where am I? Oh, I'm here. Put me in silver because this is embarrassing. Where's the pace gone, says Morris. Sometimes he said, Equal Scrap said, I'm shocked I did a 3.6. That's a PB. I'm proud of that. But the grid is so quick. Race is going to be exciting with some rain. Oh, rain is it? Oh, I love a bit of rain. Well, it's a bit overcasty at the moment there, isn't it? We do seem to have rain later on in this race, don't we? Ooh, rain. Crazy time, says Coop. Then Alien, I should say. These times are fire, says Anthony. Then thanks, Coop. I know I was amazing, says Alexander. Only 3/10 off and on P9. What the flip, says Young Lights. Then hang on a minute, I'll go have a sip of me monster. Probably I should be going for a break, shouldn't I, between qualifying and the race? But yeah, of course give us a lovely hand to our sponsors, and of course to promote all the ALR shop merchandise as well. Oh, it's too late now though. Maybe next time. Thank you very much for the super chat, by the way, for Camera Racer who's donated €10, and also that means as well then that is my lunch money for this week at work. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Camera Racer. I certainly appreciate your donation almost each and every week. It's absolutely fantastic stuff indeed there. And really good stuff there. We'll keep sending you bribes. It's brilliant. Evening Sean then as well. Good luck all racers there. Good luck Gold then at my home Grand Prix. Of course, Camera Racer will be racing here tomorrow night. And of course, I'm sure Camera Racer got a pole position. A really good pole position around here a few seasons ago. In silver, if I remember rightly. Always amazing, Alex. Be nice in the first. Be nice in the first couple of turns, says Anthony. Nah, stuff at Ram, says Serious Mushroom. Shame Mushroom didn't ram anyone in the event league in the reverse Silverstone the other week, which is actually what I was trying to encourage him to do. How dare I? Van Von, first pole position of his career on medium tyres, had Immortal alongside him on row 1. So Immortal is starting 4 positions in front of his championship rival, Sam Swift Ninja. Brabbit in 3rd position there, of course, the new Grand Prix winner, if you get the cut of my jib there. MHD in 4th position, 5th position is Boxtown. 6th position is Sam Swift Ninja. I really hope I muted my mic in time now. 6th position is Sam Swift Ninja. 7th position is Flippy with Percy and Abe. Lights and Knife. Troy in 10th position. I think Troy could have probably been in the top 5. He had the pace. 11th position is Chazza. Happy 100th today for Chazza. And great performance as well. He's the first driver on the hard tyre. Along with Menace in 12th position. Cam in 13th with Peas, Menace and Nameless 13, 14 and 15. Hard tyres for Equals. Delando on hard tyres. Legends on medium. But Nolsey and Morris also on hard tyres as well. Winner, Brabbit, Van Von, Immortal or Sam Swift. Get your votes in the comments, and I love a good vote. And of course, as we are now lining up on the grid now, preparing ourselves for the start of the Austrian Grand Prix. I almost rammed Alex, says Mushroom. To be fair, he wasn't anyone who wish he would ram everyone, to be honest, Mushroom, because unfortunately I was basically playing last for most of the time, really. Luckily, I can't remember, someone had had a much better Grand Prix than much worse Grand Prix than me. 5 lights are on then here in Austria as I start to complain. Lights off. Here we go then in the Grand Prix of Austria then as we run up into turn 1. A perfect start for Van Von then. And he leads then. Bravi's going to have a sniff at the floor now. Then of course there's a pinch zone in turn 1. We had a here. Oh no, and there it is. And it is Pease who has come across with one of the McLarens of Chazza has dropped all the way down into 20th position there. Oh dear, oh dear. And also Delando's freed up a couple of finishes as well as we go back into turn 1 there. As with of course also turn 1 and turn 2 and there's more contact and it's Pease and the Ferrari and I think Pease has been involved in 2 shots already. Oh my goodness gracious me. And now we got 3 abreast going down into turn 4 as the Aston Martin cuts across and Pease diving up the inside. There's a gap and it's all gone away safe inside. There's a big gap already between that 10th and 9th. I'm not sure. I'll have a look in a minute then. As my word then is Pease getting his elbows out there, but unfortunately it hasn't worked out too well. Side by side there's Equals with a damaged front nose cone there on the Red Bull and Menace there back up in 16th position there. Oh my goodness gracious me. Hang on, let me get my positions up there. That one completely. Look at the gap there. It's 4/10 of a second at the moment there. It is Van Von followed by a Walter as we got more action here. My goodness, banging wheels. Oh my word. And how have they both kept it within track limits and how are they both within the and still going in the forward motion it remains beyond me then. Of course, I was going to say, but unfortunately I was just distracted about talking about how bad my race was on Wednesday. Was of course how difficult turn 1 and 3 is on this opening lap. And of course there are pinch zones as who's that Morris is dropping down the order. And look at this, we've got Cam and we have got someone else there just going as we're back on board now. So look at this, and then here comes Cam then at the inside. He's going to be through. Yes, he is for lock it up in sorry, it's the Ferrari Delando who's had a cracking start in 12th position, 5 positions, Morris up 7 positions as well as he's also seen side by side action. Of course, this race is usually action packed there from the get go. We've got a lot of lappage around here. 36 laps off. Is it the most lappage in the season then? I think it is then. However, I might be wrong then. As I'm going through his chance, then Equals is going to have to pit, I think, because that is a lot of damage there. As Cam is now 2.5 away from 10th position, which is Troy. Lap 2 completed. The gap is up to 7/10 second there. As now Knowlesy is through as well. It's very much my goodness me, there's action and drama all over the show on that one, wasn't it? Goodness gracious me. Brabant to win, no curse race not started then. Wow, it's like a silver race then. Serious over damn pro Cabaret racer. As into the pits goes Equals as well. To be honest, and it's very unusual that there is so much contact on the opening lap here, as not in Austria, of course, they're in gold. As Delano is through and up into 11th position there, as we got more action at the back than PZ, as was involved in the 2 major contact points at the opening lap, I think, as he has a look there. I'm not sure if he calls it, but he was certainly in the heart of the action, but certainly was PZ, who's had a cracking season so far, as PZ, and I think that this is PZ's own best form. Oh my gosh, I swallowed my tongue. Which is Pease and of course a multiple Grand Prix winner is Pease. Oh no! And it's Menace off the circuit in the Ferrari. And it's been a very difficult weekend for Menace. So of course his qualifying form was struggling, and now unfortunately his race form was not ideal even. And coming up and to complete lap 4 of this Grand Prix, lap 3 of the Grand Prix. Legends are currently in 14th position there, but Morris is all over the gearbox now, and the action's very much down near the bottom of the field at the moment, which is cracking stuff indeed. It's the top of the field that is becoming a slow burner at the moment. Here's Morris, and he deploys. He's through into 14th. Lovely. I shouldn't have had that kind of monster because I got real bad indigestion there, which is not good, is it? Also, probably because I've had a lot of chicken as well today. That's why it's all about protein and gains, but unfortunately the only gains that I'm making is gaining a bigger waist belt, potentially. Just watching Flippy in a 7th position. I love that Chrome McLaren. That's really nice indeed, as of course. I think that his teammate Chance doesn't have the Chrome McLaren, so he's got the more traditional McLaren. On board now, it feels like IndyCar really is, because McLaren do have different liveries in IndyCar. That's one thing that I can't get my head around in IndyCar, as I'm a new fan then, of course, and I just moan about stuff. Is the yellow flag. It's the same corner, same corner, and it's the same constructor car. It's Menace off the circuit, and oh dear, he's really strong. The problem is that when you have a spin or anything like that, it's very difficult to get the tyres back in the correct operating window. But Menace is now over 8-9 seconds away. Hats off to Menace to slugging it out there, as of course we are expecting rainers from what we've heard from a few drivers as we're just now on board with Pease, and goodness me, that's going up the inside then. Delano trying to defend then. Delano had a great race around here a few seasons ago. I think it was season 8 or season 9 then, when he was a super sub then, of course, and finished 5th, I believe, which I think is his best result of his goal career. He would like to have another result here tonight then, but unfortunately dropping out. Pease, my goodness gracious me, the Pease is woken up and chosen action tonight. Fantastic, and he's up into 11th there, his Pease. And goodness gracious me. Indigestion, is that Witten in Milan then? Says serious mushroom. To be honest, I've never been to Milan actually. To be honest, I don't think I've even stepped foot outside the UK, to be honest, unless you count. Well, actually, Wales isn't the UK, so, but of course, I haven't really been that far, to be honest. Cross anywhere, to be fair. And of course, it's into the pits comes Troy. That's a very early stop then for the former champion. Then we're looking for the blue overall mechanics. Are into the pits now. Is this hard tires? It is hard tires. So Troy is rolling the dice here on lap 6 there. Interesting strategy there for the Williams driver. Now, and I'm wondering then if he feels then that he's going to try and go for a massive undercut here. Then later on, when the rain comes, as P's are locking up, as we're just watching, we're following Delando in this epic battle here, as Flippy and Boxtel is now swap positions there, as Boxtel has dropped down to 7th position and is around his teammate. Both Mercedes and both Alpines, that I'd say the closest teammate combination of the grid this season then, as just watching Delando here in 13th position, but Morris is the driver who's causing all kinds of problems then for Cam at the moment there. Immortal takes the lead then. How long ago was that? I don't know, but Immortal takes the lead then. We've had so much action in the midfield, it's been incredible. As you can see, Troy is trying to get his tyres fired up, but Immortal leads. Second is Van Voden then, with Brabham in for MHD is in 4th, Sam Swift is in 5th position with Flippy in 6th, Boxtel 7th, Lights is 8th, and Piercy in 9th position, and P's in 10th position, which has been the heart of the field so far. Incredible stuff indeed there, but yes, and so far it has been Immortal leads, and Cam has got the first, it's the upper Cam then, has got the first 3-second penalty afternoon, and this could be a penalty pass, whether it's as high as Austria, I do not think so from my expert analysis, which is not very expert at all, and not very analysis-y either. But Van Von is dropped down to 2nd position, and now then, let's see what he can do then. Can he keep up with the championship leader, which is Immortal at the moment? Brabham in 3rd position, MHD is in 4th, with Sam Swift Ninja in 5th position. Well, they're on board now with the triple world champion. I love the helmet design there. As you can see, there's a lot of dirt in that part of the circuit, because we've seen Menace having issues there a few laps ago, and it's dropped all the way down into 17th position at the moment there. As we're just now looking at Sam Swift Ninja 5th, Flippy is 6th, and it's starting to get on the charge now. You see, as Boxtel is being left behind. He's still in DRS, so that is a crucial part of this race as Cam is coming into the pits. This is a very difficult part of the circuit to come into the pits, and you just see Morris having to take a phase of action. My word, oh no, he has spun then. I thought he kept the car, and I think he kept the car and tried to keep forward motion, but unfortunately that's a humongous spin then, and he did clout the barrier, similar to Perez in 2014 then, and Vettel actually, who did something similar there, but luckily just about kept out of the wall. Morris did hit the wall, but whether he can recover on that, I think there's a lot of frustration then for Morris there, as he's trying to find a gap then to just swing the car around then, but unfortunately for Morris, that is not ideal then. Cam is out in front of Menace, as Menace is not pitted yet either then, so that's just a double pain there for Cam at the moment. They're back at the front, and the gap is 4/10 of a second. There's Immortal at the moment then. Oh my goodness me. Can you take the poll off the screen? Yes, I can. How do I get rid of it? Oh dear. Yes. To be honest, I'm not sure about having that poll on the screen anyway, because to be honest, it's too big, isn't it? It's into the pits comes Flippy, and also into the pits comes, it's a 10-second penalty for Flippy, and that is crucial for Flippy as he does change tyres onto the hard tyres. Now, is the rain actually coming, do you reckon, there? As coming out of the pits now, does come Flippy then, but that's a 10-second penalty, unfortunately, as now they're coming out of the pits now, but then we've got Flippy, lights out of the pits as well. well. I don't think anyone else had a 10-second penalty. Very sluggish. Oh, Peter's already up the road then. As we got the Aston Martin coming through as well. Yellow flag. What's happened? It's a Ferrari. Oh, it's Menace again. He just cannot get to grips with this circuit in the Ferrari. And he's carrying on, but that's not a deal. There's more yellow flags in the background. And as Equals also had a trip as well. He's on 6 up sometimes. Morris out of the Grand Prix. It's a safety car. And Morris, where has Morris gone off? I don't know where he's gone off, to be honest. He had a trip earlier on there. Safety car out here then, as a lot of drivers have not pitted yet. Now this is going to be interesting. Fastest lap, fastest reverse up there from Morris. He means pole position, I think. A laugh out loud then. Blessing says Equals into the pits. Now comes Immortal, comes Van Von, comes Brabbit, comes Neat Candish, comes Swift, comes Boxer, comes Percy. How dare you correct me, Favre? Comes into the pits as well, Delano. Yeah, to be fair, I was the pole. Some things I'm not sure about the pole. I think it was a cool aspect, but I think it's too big. I wish I could say the same. As look, the two RBs having a queue, and that's going to hurt Percy. Then out of the pits now comes Immortal. Is this going to be enough to keep the lead there? And who's that on the left-hand side? I think that's a Williams. That is a Williams. Is that Knowlesy? It is Knowlesy, as he is elected to stay out here. Knowlesy as I'm wondering if Knowlesy is just didn't want to lose so much time there. But if he loses time there coming in the pit, he's going to lose a lot more time by staying out, unless he wants to stay out there. Delano in a very strong 10th position there. Great stuff indeed. This is the best results. Of course, we mentioned a couple of seasons ago about Delano doing good in this race. Finishing 5th or 6th, and now he's in 10th position. This is a strong performance. Cam then only 12th position. Chazza's on the medium tyres. Is Chazza, as we just take a look up and down the field there. And I reckon Equals saying bless him, because he went to the soft tyres, which I'm not sure was what he wanted there. Flippy coming out the pits now, serving that 10-second penalty. So as painful as that was for Flippy, it could have been an awful lot worse, but he has lost a lot of track position there. He's the biggest loser in this opening stint here. Oh, lights getting a bit of the profanity in the comment section there. He's not a happy chappy about that safety car coming out there. It's all kicking off then. I just pitted then. Deliberate safety car class, that says Vessier. Lights there with a thumbs down. Ooh. We'll see if that was a deliberate safety car. I must admit, I didn't even see where Morris crashed, to be honest then. If it even was Morris that caused the safety car, I'm just surmising here up in the comments box there, because we just seen Menace struggling. Equals also had an issue as well, big on the final corner there. Knowlesy has elected to come to the pits now. So so we don't know what caused the safety car or anything like that then, and whether it was Morris or whether it is Menace, I do not know. But the stewards will be very much on that like a car bonnet, I am sure of it. Of course, Farfar, of course, the second steward in command, of course, will be keeping his watch wide. I was going to describe Farfar as Herbie Blash. Is Herbie Blash even part of the FIH stewards committee these days? I don't know, to be honest, which is actually quite a shameful thing to admit, isn't it? Goodness me, but they've had so many personality FIA go in and out of that company lately that I must say then that you would need to be absolutely literally reading their staff list daily to know who still works there. Only one driver with a 3-second penalty so far. Very impressive stuff indeed then, albeit Flippy did have a 10-second penalty out there earlier on then. Knowlesy's out in 16th position, and albeit with a late pit stop there, Knowlesy is still in a strong 16th finish there, which is not too bad at all. Where am I? If the rain comes, Alex is goaded, smart thinking that. Did Troy pit again? Let's have a look. He might have done. Let's take a look at the pit stop, shall we? So, yeah, Troy is pitted for a second time. Good spot, Anthony. I'm glad you're paying attention. Unfortunately, that mushroom's not, though, is it? Shocking. And nor is this ginger guy in the comments box either. If it rains, then Alex has just stuffed that up then. So Morris crashed in the pit, says Bessier. To be honest, the pit lane, the pit lane is not the most difficult one. What is it? The pit in is quite difficult, isn't it? I'm sure that, I believe it or not, I'm sure that Mushroom in the past has you got a motorbike outside there who likes to rev his exhaust. Good stuff. Gets so annoying. Mushroom did mention that was Lambaston is pitting, wasn't he? I think here and in Canada as well. So, of course, keep an eye out for that. And we've already had an issue where I think the Morris had to take evasive action for someone coming to pits earlier on in this race. So just waiting for the safety car to stay out there, as we've got currently Equals, who is I can't find my tyres. Where's my tyres? Oh, goodness me, this one, I'm playing with my own graphic. There they are. As Equals should catch up to the back of the crocodile as well. Sean, are you actually watching the race? No, I'm not, to be honest. I've already missed the the tape, the overtake for the lead then, and then of course I've missed Troy coming to the pits twice, and I've even missed who and how the safety car was was deployed as well. It's shocking stuff, but I don't know, to be honest, I think that Farfair is probably going to be reported back to the head steward Knowlesy after this one, isn't he? Shambolic performance from me. Goodness gracious me, shocking stuff. To be honest, to be fair, it would be helpful. I'm even facing the TV, so I'm not doing that either at the moment. I was actually reading something because I was trying to look to see which season Delano was so good around here, but I might have to wait for that tomorrow night. To be fair, and let you know. I am paying attention. I pick everything you say wrong. Says Serious Question. Performance review next week, says Anthony. And to be honest, ALR is quite quick with the performance reviews today. I could be lambasted by tomorrow. How the final turn then? A mortal lead, second position is Van Bond. Bravit in third, fourth position is MHD. I need to stop giggling. Fifth is Sam Swift Ninja, with six is Boxer. Percy didn't lose that much time in seventh position. With a light eighth, Delando in ninth, and Legend into a superb 10th position at the moment. Oh, Percy's got a 3-second penalty, unfortunately running wide into turn one, I believe. Now, Immortal is not going to have to defend from DRS just yet there, but Kaz would probably like to, big lock up on those new tyres there. Chazza and Menace are the only two drivers onto the medium tyres. Only Cam and Percy has a penalty so far, so we're back on board. Now then, as Flippy has made his way past Nosey and moved himself up to 16th position, down into turn 4, as we just flick through the order then. Lights in 8th position there, as then we got Dylan followed by Legends there, which I got my fingers crossed for Legends to be able to pick up some good points tonight. Chaz in 12th position there. Who's Kaz? I remember a guy called Kaz. P's in 13th position there. 14th is Troy with Nameless, Flippy, Menace, Knowlesy and Equals, and completes the top 19 then. Immortal then coming through there. Look at that, the top two are almost a second out of Brabant there. Goodness gracious me. As a top two, I think I'm just trying to race away then. DRS will be available on this lap, and now this is where it's going to get very funky indeed then. Lap 14 out of 36 around this one. As we go up to the top of the hill then, as we now fight then, as going 2 for 0 then, as of course DRS, and Brabant's done a good job there to stay within DRS. Good stuff indeed there. As we go up the hill as well, on board with Brabant, of course, the Spanish Grand Prix winner, ironically when I was not around then, so drivers seem to win. The drivers that I seem to put a commentator's curse on seems to win when I'm not around there. So I think the Brabant and probably even Musher as well would love to see me take a hiatus or possibly even get suspended. As we go up the inside for Percy, as Boxer has to dive out. Then of course I'm getting flashbacks from Zandvoort in season 8 as Boxer and Percy they're fighting for position there. Remember that back then those two were fighting 2 for 0 for the World Championship. Of course, one of the best championship fights on in ALR history, in my opinion. Of course, unfortunately, probably one of the worst games in ALR history of the F1 22 game, sadly. Of course, they're completely different drivers now then, as Knowles got a 3-second penalty as well, and someone else got a penalty out there. I didn't see who that was then. As coming to line, there's Van Born, who's got a penalty as well. Goodness gracious me, Sam Swift Ninja set the fast lap race. However, that has been eclipsed very quickly by Lucas Percy. At the top of the hill, once again, the DRS is now available for Kaz, as we're just now going to be fighting, as we're fighting, as we go up into turn number 3. Not quite then, but I think the Peas is going to be fighting up into turn 3. There he goes! He storms through, passes Kaz up into 12th position. Kaz is going to get the run back there, going to get the old switcheroo here, as we're just on board now. Then look at this, and it's Kaz who's going to use those medium tires to absolute perfection. But I think the Peas there might have the high ground. He does there as Kaz backs out. Oh, big lock out there. He's going to be on these tires for an awful long time if the rain doesn't come. And I'm just having a look across the sky here in Spielberg, and it absolutely looks splendid out there, doesn't it? I think it's me and Mushroom should go outside and do a bit of sunbathing in our speedos. As Troy down in 40 minutes there after that double stop there, which I don't know why he's done a double stop there. We'll have to find out at the end of the race. Sam Swift Ninja's now starting to find some pace on these hard tires. Troy has got the 3-second penalty, not set the fast up the race there. Morris, I want to quit racing. I have no confidence. I can't understand the handling of this game. As unfortunately, another very bad weekend for Morris, and I do absolutely sympathise with Morris because I must admit in Silverstone reversed earlier this last week. I was nowhere. A Motor has gone wide, and the Kaz has taken the lead. That it was that an unforced error for Motor. Was he looking in his wing mirrors? And Van Von takes the lead. Of course, he's got a Grand Prix win already. Van Von has a can he get his second Grand Prix win today? Not the only one says much now. Why is the safety car notification still there? And I gotta say, I didn't notice that either. But yes, the safety car is. How do I get rid of it? It's still there. A safety car is not out now, by the way, because if it was, this is very dangerous to be racing at this speed there with Bernd Molander on track. Then maybe Bernd Molander is in the part of the pit lane where it's still got the notification. I do not know. Or maybe Bernd Molander just wants to be centre of attention. How dare he? But of course, we haven't seen much of Bernd Molander, have we? Over the course of the season, on the last couple of seasons actually in gold then, so who can blame him then? He probably feels a bit left out, doesn't he? Sunsurf Ninja is now within 2/10 of a second at the moment. Cody said, set up your settings, Sean. I want to be alongside you, says Indigo. You don't want to be alongside me, Morris, goodness gracious me, especially as I smell a bit rotten at the moment there, as I've been rotted on the sofa. Watching the Premier League finally returned as well. I do need to sort my setup out then, because I think having a co-commentator will make the spectacle much better. What I need is probably some monitors and some headphones to plug in. To be honest, if anyone knows how to do that out there, because what we do is, because we use OBS, as coming back to that, Chaz is off, Chaz has dropped down the order, Menace is on the outside now, and Flippy, oh my word there, Flippy is trying to run Menace out wide, but Menace has got to fall in line, I think, and he does, and Flippy is in 14th position, but because of that battling, they are all out of DRS range, over the brow of the hill once again there, as Menace has got a 3-second penalty as well. The penalties are starting to rack up. I'm sure that we've got more penalties in this race than we had in Austria, and we ain't even at half distance yet. But Austria was over a week ago, and I've slept 6 times since then. Up to turn 1 we go. Far for penalty coming in thick and fast said, I would definitely like to see you in suspenders. Said serious question. Goodness gracious me. You wouldn't want to see it today. As on the inside there comes Samson Ninja. Is he going? He is. He's got the upside. Let's have a bit of contact. There is a bit of contact. Rubbing his race, as they say in BTCC, especially Jason Plato. But having a full position now goes Sam Swift Ninja. Down into 5th goes MHD then. Troy as oh gosh, I'm on the wrong board there. As Troy is now in 14th position. No, he isn't. He is in 14th now. Flippy storms through. And I'm sure I was saying last lap that, oh my gosh, I was sure saying last lap there's DRS and it's MHD and Percy. Well, he's on the outside. He's on the outside. Is he through? All contact there. I've got rubbish camera angles. I love it as well. Then it's on board and those kind of MHD there. As Percy is through over the 5th position. Lee Candice must have made a mistake somewhere. As Percy is now into a 5th position here. Oh, I'm breathe, me can breathe. Gosh, goodness me, I've got a bit of sweat under me pectoral muscles here, which is not good. And unfortunately, I'm wearing a grey top, which you can see all the protruded areas. Menace is off the circuit. Oh, goodness me. As he's just having a horror time out there, Menace is there. He has spun 4 times now, Menace out there. And similar to Morris, as Percy has lost out because MHT is back through, but Percy's going to go back up and under. Straightens the car up nicely and back up into 5th position as well. But is MHT going to have that? No, he's not then. As it goes down into a turn at 6th then, does MHD. Oh. Penalties coming in thick and fast now, says at Fartbed. You're an IT, Sean. You should be telling us, says Serious Question. How dare you? I only switch it off and back on. I don't use my brain. Goodness gracious me, that'd be dangerous. To be honest, there's one thing that's which I really struggle with, and that is sound. I really every time we do like conferences and stuff like that at work and all that kind of stuff, the one thing that I always get scared of is audio and sound. I just really don't like it, and I just can't get my head around it a lot of the time. As a lot of the other things I can't just like tinker about, but for some reason audio is just one of my Achilles heel as we go up into turn 11. Just ask Alex for for example, when we were setting up OBS a few seasons ago, as Cam there is all over the back of Delano then, so Delano, yellow flag, it's the other Ferrari again then, as Delano is dropped out of 10th position there. He is going to fight for all the marbles here. Oh no, they have locked up, they have come together. Oh, and Delano, is he okay? He is okay there. As my goodness gracious me, Flippy's not. That's a crash, and that's a crash between Peas and Flippy. And I must say, and Peas is oh goodness me, the wings come off. That's a humongous shunt then. Is that a VSC or anything like that? Surely there's going to be some kind of precaution here. Flippy don't look like he's damaged, but Peas certainly is damaged there, isn't he? Goodness me, we was watching Delano, he cut back across and both cars was off then, and they was getting very close indeed then. And now into the Peas has had a very adventurous Grand Prix. Nick Candish there was coming to the pits, I think. No, Percy's coming to the pits then. So Percy has done 10 laps. He got damaged there, Percy has. Let's take a look actually, because I think that's a bit out of sequence. He's only done 11 laps there on the tyres. He hasn't got damage, has he? No, he hasn't then. So this is a strategical call. 30-second penalty for Knowles. So just take a look at Pease, who's coming into the pits now. Do you use that island background in conferences? Says Russian Peace out of the Grand Prix. To be fair, actually, on teams at work, because we've got the official licensing and stuff, I'm sure I've got a what background? I've got a Halo background, which all you PlayStation guys out there is going to absolutely lambast me for that, goodness me. As Flippy back in the 40th position, I do not know what happened with Flippy and Peas. It'd be interesting to see that. There's a lot of things that have gone on in this race tonight, and the commentators not noticed any of it, to be fair. However, that instant has luckily got rid of our safety car notification, and so all silver linings and all that kind of jazz. Sounds Swift Ninja's now back in the 4th position. So what is Percy doing then? So Percy, as into the pits comes MHD as well. So Percy's coming to pits, didn't change his nose cone, but it's now on fresh, hard tyres there. I'm surprised about this, guys. I thought this was going to be a straightforward one-stopper, you know. Medium stuff about lap 15, 16, and going on to the hard tyres at the end of the race. That's what it's been in previous races around here. But here tonight, then, there's pit stops here and everywhere. There's action here and everywhere as well. And there's going to be a lot of drivers there. A lot of drivers that are going to be called up to the stewards room, I think, at the end of this one, probably even tomorrow as well. Not sure about Silver, but of course, some drivers there probably would like me to go to bed straight after this, as it'll probably have to worry about the incidents tomorrow. As Boxstar has lost out then to his teammate then Percy up the inside there. That's when the Williams is just jumping out of the way. That's Knowlesy, but unfortunately, because he's jumped out of the way, he's compromised his exit, and that has allowed Ed Corrales through and having the 14th position there. As Knowlesy knows that's not his fight at the moment. There's the two Mercedes that are locking horns. We're going to go back to the top four who have raced away from the rest of the field now, because the two Mercedes are about 4.5 seconds back at the moment, which is not ideal. Sure, safety car is on a lightweight then. Crash and safety car goes in. It's fantastic, isn't it? I love this game. Into the pits comes Young Lights. Having said that, then of course, as much as a couple of us have been lambasting the game, it's this, as I said a couple of weeks ago, this is the best F1 game I think we've seen since F1 21, in my opinion. So there you go. I may fall off me horse on that one, but I must admit, this as MHT is coming to 40 finish there. Lights coming out of the pits now, just going across there. So a lot of drivers are on two stoppers here. I think the medium tyres are just like chewing gum here. They're just falling apart, aren't they? And the drivers out there are really struggling, some of them are. Van Von, Mortal, Brabant and Sam Swift have not pitted yet. The top 5, the top 6, the top 7, the top 8 have all not pitted since the safety car. And even Nameless in not finished as pitting. Nor is Chazet. Then after Chazet, then we got the newer shod tyre drivers out there of Percy in the 11th position, 2 lap over, but hard tyres. Then we have got Flippy, who's unfortunately been involved in an accident in 30 minutes there. The Immortal is in the pits now, so Immortal is coming into the pits then, and he's going to be changing to different types of tyres. I'm still looking for this rain, and I don't think the rain's coming, you know. It feels like the Hungarian Grand Prix a few years ago where he was looking for the rain, it just never turned out. And of course, the story of an F1 fan really isn't always hoping for rain, but then we also hope it doesn't get too heavy, and then we have no race at all. There's a balance in that then. Sam Swift has stayed out. So into the pits is now Immortal and Brabant both into the pits as well, out of the top 4. As now then Kaz has got advantage of a second and a half over Sam Swift, which is good because Sam Swift Ninja will not have DRS. Delano driving superbly well in the boat there. I don't commentate Kirsten because of course he's had a very difficult season, Delano, but driving superbly well in the Ferrari. I'm also hoping Delano can get some good results here tonight. Menace getting a penalty, as is Chaz as well. Percy, Immortal and Flippy are all fighting for position there, but they're all on completely, well, not all on completely different strategies. Flippy's on a completely different strategy, but as now we got Nick Candice on the outside here. Flippy then, who's going to not going to be, he's going to fight this one as best he can there, but thank goodness gracious me. But unfortunately for Flippy, down into 11th position now, up into 10th there goes MHD. Flippy, of course, there had to have an extra stop then for the 10-second penalty. Had a 10-second penalty stop there because, and look at this, and Chaza and Percy now going to go head-to-head then. It's a Chaza, of course, there, as he coming into the pits there, as Chaza, this is a very difficult pit in here. He is coming into the pits, and it's Chaza. Van Von coming on the pits now. Chaza's done a great stint of 14 laps on those tyres. Soundswift Ninja is staying out. It's Soundswift Ninja thinking that there's rain coming, they're going to stay to the end, and we're on lap 25 out of 36 here. I'm surprised some drivers have not gone on to mediums, you know, but medium tires is not the way to go there. No, I like the invisible walls on the old games there, says Serious Motion. Oh, what rate, I think it was the F1 2013, there was a visible wall in Monaco. Well, it wasn't an invisible wall as such, but there was like a little bit of a opening in the barrier there, but if you were too close to that, you hit that barrier like a wall. And I did it in Monaco so many times, I got so upset. I think it was the F1 2011, 12 and 13 games, so I'm sure it didn't get fixed for a very long time. And I don't think it got fixed until the F1 games went onto the new gen of console. So just watching Knowlesy being overtaken by Cam and up in the 12th edition, both drivers have got penalties. We'll look at the penalties in a minute, and Soundswift Ninja has not decided to come in the pits, and so not wait for the rain then. What lap did you set the rain on for, Farf? 34, says Farfbed. So Farfbed is expecting a bit of a crescendo here as well, similar to maybe the Belgian Grand Prix in 2008 there, where it's all anarchy. Soundswift Ninja has gone to medium tyres, as has Van Von here. So I'm surprised that more drivers wasn't on to medium tyres there, as we got a Mercedes all over the gearbox of the McLaren. Soundswift Ninja is out just in front then, as just lost a few position or two, nothing more than that then, as Lights has now been in 10th position, flipping down into 11th now. Lovely stuff indeed that is. Percy is now right me. I think the Percy may have left his teammate through that, or am I being too nice to Percy? Of course I am, because he's an admin down. I got to make sure that I get the brown nose award of the year. So just watch it. Van Von, who's gone through one, made that two. Yes, he is through on the outside maneuver of this race so far. I may have hazarded a guess then. Look at that, we've got a ghost in Boxtel there, as Boxtel stopped ghosting now, and that's not going to help Dylan. Oh gosh, Boxtel's lagging. What's going on there? Boxtel doesn't normally have connection issues there. There's an issue there, and now Delano crawling into the pit as well. Immortals now into third position, and as Stolen the March said on Percy, Brabbit, and MHD then. So now Van Von leads on the medium tyres with Immortal second, Percy in third position. Boxtel's got a 10-second penalty, and I reckon the Boxtel may have retired from that, because he had there is something wrong with that car for Boxtel there. So I don't think that's just a straight pit and quit then. I think there is issues there for Boxtel, because he was just jumping all over the place up into third position. Now goes Brabbit. Percy there is not going to give this one up though, is he? Squeezes Brabbit, but Brabbit is not going away, and unfortunately for Percy, he's been forced out wide, and now MHD is through. Soundswift Ninja is through as well. Soundswift is on the medium tyres there, and he's going to be using these medium tyres as they're going to be quicker than a hiccup in the opening stages of this stint then. Whether the rain comes or not remains to be seen, and also whether it comes at all is actually going to be my guess now, because I'm not even sure if the rain is going to come, you know. To be honest, if that rain comes on that 34 now, goodness me, that's not going to look too good, is it? It's 3 retirements in this Grand Prix. Morris, Pease, and Boxtel out of the race. Boxtel, we think, had some kind of desync issues there, because that looked a bit odd. We've got then we've got Menace, who's hats off for keeping going, Menaces, but he's probably having absolutely horrific time in that Ferrari. Knowlesy in 16th, Equels in 15th, Chazza in 14th, 30th is Delano. I'm surprised how many drivers have gone to the hard tyres, and it likes of Brabbit, Immortal, and MHD. With Soundswift Ninja rolling the dice and go for the medium tyres. Soundswift Ninja did say last time out there, as oh my word, thank goodness gracious me, that Soundswift Ninja put his car in places that I didn't think it belonged there, but goodness me, he's showing bravery here as the champion. But MHD cuts across the green, kicks out a nose cone as we go down into turn 4. But I think he might be a bit too far. But look at the braking, more braking he's got there on those medium tyres. Gap is 1.6 seconds ahead there. Brabbit really doesn't like being passed. Says Coop then. Boxtel's hamster died when the electric went out then. Of course. Oh, of course as well. And we have that same issue in work as well. Oh, gosh. Lap 29 out of 36 here. This race has flown by. Fantastic. And that even includes a safety car as we go up into turn 1. Van Von has got a 2-second advantage from there. But what I have forgotten about is those penalties out there. Goodness, that gracious me. Yes, so we got penalties out there. Yellow flag. I know why we're this Menace and who's oh dear. Menace there is going to be so frustrated in that Ferrari because that Ferrari just doesn't look compliant. Up into 4th position goes Sam Swift Ninja MHD down into 5th position there as Sam Swift Ninja is going to be using those tyres. I reckon those tyres on the medium should get to the end now. I'm beside myself then that not more drivers then came into the pits and put on medium tyres rather than hards. But we'll soon find out because of course they're the experts. I just sit on my poof there and talks absolute nonsense for about an hour and a half. Delano is now in 12th position. Can he get himself up to the points? And I hope so. I don't want to play favourites or not, but I do hope the drivers, especially when now in difficult seasons, does do a great job. Like Kaidal, for example. Of course, Kaidal, it's great to see Kaidal like, doing so well in silver. And to be fair, he could and should have scored a lot more points than what he has done. But after being stuck at the back for the last 2 seasons, finally, Kaidal has really shown what he's worth and what he's made of in the silver championship. It's really cool to see penalties. Yes, indeed, there are the penalties so far. Situation so far. Van Bonn has got a 3-second penalty. Immortal's in that 3-second penalty. 6 seconds for Percy, 3 seconds for Cam, 3 seconds for Troy, 6 seconds for Nolte, and 9 seconds for Menace at the moment. Learned nothing about strategy night, says Serious Motion. So I think the Serious Motion is going to have a word then with the gold drivers after this one. I'm sure of it, and absolutely, of course, that's the reason why the gold drivers go first, so that all the other drivers can learn about what to do. But I must say, in this race, safety cars, uncertainty of the weather, we got some cloud cover out there now, and now that is going to be. I think it's too late, If it rains now, which I'm sure it rained around this time in Season 1 when Alex was leading the Grand Prix. Knowles was leading the Grand Prix, which he's probably like shaking his fist at the screen at me now, which to be fair, I think all admins do anyway, to be fair. But especially some of the stuff I come out with. Sounds with Ninja down in the 4th position. But I'm sure it rained around this time in Season 1 or 2 of the Austrian Grand Prix there. Of course, that's one of the, I think that's one of the top 10 all-time races, that races. I don't think that's going to be in Knowles' book or Murphy's book either, as I think both drivers there were second and first in that race up until where the rain came, and it just completely ruined what was a great day's work there. Legends has now got past, as Flippy's also been passed by both cars, both green cars, albeit there's a different shade of green there for the second car. Cameron makes not finished there, but Flippy is still in chance for points here. Immortal, Brabbit, Sam Swift Ninja, and MHD. It's got driver of the doubt there, so put your vote in. And let's see who gets that. And that's a very difficult driver of the day there, Farfis. Farfis feeling a bit cheeky tonight, isn't he? Good stuff indeed. Of course, Farfis. I'm not sure actually. I was about to make a joke about Ipswich then. Of course, I think that's Farf's football team. I don't know if they won or lost, to be honest, but I don't watch the championship anymore. So just going into turn 10, goodness me, Sean. Oh dear. Going back over to the battle. Look at this. This battle's condensed down. So Van Von has either made a mistake or his tyres are starting to fall off here, and now we got a freeway battle. But if the tyres are falling off for Kaz and not for Sam Swift Ninja, even Sam Swift Ninja, we know how good he is in Grand Prix. So he's a 3-time world champion for a reason, and now he's in full position, and maybe he's able to keep those medium tyres in place then. In places, oh gosh, there, I just felt a big old drip of sweat run down my back and into me crack. Oh dear. Van Von leads 8 tenths of a second in front of Immortal in second, with Brabbit in third. Sam Swift in full position there. MHD is just agonising outside that DRS, and Nameless is through. Delando's through. Flippy just jumped down the order, because I think Flippy has not pitted yet, has he? Let's take a look. Flippy he's done 22 laps on the medium tyres, and that is almost double anyone else who's on the the hard tires there, of course. So that is why Flippy has jumped down the order. He's now past his teammate as well. Flippy's just, unfortunately, it's been a horror show of a race there for Flippy, who's in the upper echelons at the top 10. But now all of a sudden, then it's just, unfortunately for Flippy, it has just been a 10-second. It's been a horror show in the Grand Prix, an absolute horror show. Ice and rain, says Serious Motion. Just take a look at the clouds now. I can't see any rain yet then, but the rain this late on may not affect the drivers unless it's an absolute deluge out there. Unless it just absolutely it drops onto the circuit now. But I think that the rain is too far away. I can see that the clouds are coming over, but I can't see as we got an incredible battle. It's a freeway battle here between Dylan and Samson. Ninja's got a 3-second penalty. That's going to cost him a podium or even a Grand Prix win. And so now Dylan knows to pass Chaza. I'm moving to up until elimination. Nameless is over to 10th. Great driving. And then we got Legends, who's also driving superbly well, but he is the cork in the bottle here. Is Legends, and we're gonna have to keep our eye out then, because this last couple of laps is going to make or break a lot of drivers racing this way. Here's one driver then, as now then I think the hard tires are the quicker race tire, but answered that Soundship Ninja is still quick at the moment. Maybe not, says Serious Pressure. Into turn number 3 now at the inside track position, takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix with 3 laps to go. Now he's harvested, and now it's going to be Van Von's turn then with DRS then, and he's going to try and come back at him, then going down into turn number 4. This is crucial for the outcome of the World Championship, maybe later on, but Van Von is too far back with this cracking battle here. Troy has got through. Troy is up into 12th position there. Percy's lost out as Lights is through, and up into 6th position, or is he? No, he's coming back through. He's going to be on the outside, but Lights is going to have the high ground. But Percy, this is a great race, and stays with it. Magnificent stuff indeed there. Percy repels the attack of Lights. Brilliant. Back up to this battle here. Nameless is now up into 9th position, and Cam is down into 10th, and Nameless is flying. I think the medium tires are struggling now, aren't they? As now Nameless is on, Nameless is now up into 9th position. It's a good result for Nameless. He's had a very difficult season. He's had a very consistent season. He finished 11th like 3-4 times in a row, which is incredible. Very much Ollie Behrman of ALR, fantastic. Or maybe not, actually, because it's the worst position to finish. But Immortal still leads on lap 35 and a big lockup. Brabbit is second. Third position is Brabbit, actually. Second is Van Vort into the pits. Who's that into the pits? Cam's into the pits, and Percy and Lights renew hostilities at the top of the hill. Goodness gracious me, gentlemen. Villa Decor out on circuit. My word. And now up into lovely shot in the nose cone here as through goes Percy up into 6th position. Yellow flag. What's happened? I think it's a Ferrari off there. The other Ferrari. Oh, contact between the Williams and the Ferrari of Troy and Delando. And now here comes the McLaren of Chasm for these piggies. His tyres are gone. Nameless is now all over the back of Legends here as well. Legends is driving superbly well and would have been my pick for draw today. 10 minutes until rainfall, says Bestia. So it's going to be too late in the Grand Prix. So there ain't going to be any rain in this one. Knowlesy and Can both on soft tyres. They want to go for the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Troy is about 2/10 of a second back at the moment. Soundshift Ninja then needs to, even if he needs to take Van Von to get on that podium today then. So at the moment it is currently Immortal on course for that podium, along with Brabbit in second, and in third position will be Van Von then on the final lap then. Don't stop now, don't stop now, gentlemen, there, because there is still a lot to play for in this one. There is the gap at the front then. Incredible stuff. Lights and Percy are still going head to head. Percy does have a 3-second penalty, unfortunately. Nameless and Troy are now going to be fighting. Then we've also got Legends, who's drove superbly well, but I do feel this could be a painful part of the race there for the King Sauber. Up into 8th, up into 9th. Troy up the inside. He is up the inside. Legends is coming back at him. Nameless has been forced out wide, and now Legends is back up into 9th position. Nameless down to 10th. Delando is in 11th position, but he comes up the Aston Martin driver going down into turn 4. Incredible stuff indeed then. And absolutely fantastic racing there. This is the last corner, and Immortal wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Wow, that is impressive stuff indeed, and extends his lead in the World Drivers' Championship there for Immortal. What a race there for Immortal. Incredible stuff indeed. That this battle for 10th, 9th, 10th and 11th is going all the way down to the finish line, I'm sure of it. Yellow flag, one of the McLarens is flipping off it to end a horrific day. Troy is going to be in 8th position. Legends there. What a drive for Legends there. Drown a day for me in 9th position. 10th is Nameless there, getting more points in. No, it's Chazza who gets 10th position. And of course, with Troy getting pounds, his Legends 8th, Nameless 9th, and Chazza in 10th position. Great drive. Great drive from Delano as well. As Filippi then just really been a horror show of a drive today. What an incredible end then to the race. And the rain did not come in the end there. Oh my goodness gracious me. And that is Immortals' ninth Grand Prix win of his career. His 32nd podium of his career as well in his 100th race start. And extends his lead in the championship after a difficult race last time out. Then, of course, Immortals' worst race of the season then with 5th position. But he's back on the top step of the podium here tonight. And, of course, choosing the correct tire strategy as very much did a really good job tonight there for Immortal. Oh, race winner was Immortal. Fast as that was Knowles. The driver of the day was Nameless there, with Knowles in the most overtakes, and the cleanest driver was Brabbit. Final classification from the Austrian Grand Prix. Immortal with his 9th win of his career, extends his lead in the Drivers' Championship. Brabbit moves himself up to second. Van Von, that 3-second penalty cost him in the end, I feel, and also maybe going on to the medium tires. Nick Canish in 4th position. Soundshift Ninja, that 3-second penalty has dropped him down to 5th. Lights in 6th. Percy is 7th. Legends, what a drive to 8th position. 18th to 8th. A fantastic performance for Legends there. My driver of the day with Nameless in 9th position and Chazza getting a point in 10th position as well. Those 3 drivers are superb. And Delano in 11th as well. Up into those 4 drivers and Equal's 5 drivers. Superb. Flippy in 13th. Cam 14th. Nosey fast that point in 15th. Troy's 3-second penalty drops all the way down to 16th with Menace. Boxtel, Peace, and Morris all retired. As Robert saying, come on, Van Von, then Kaz Van Von with a great drive today to finish in a superb third position today, which is absolutely supreme stuff indeed, wasn't it? Oh my word! Right, let me get the old interview screen up then, shall we? As that was a superb race then, and we're going to talk to the man who finished second in the race today then, which was Brabbit then, and Brabbit there, it was very much a battling drive today then, and how and you4 at the top of the race, which is fighting tooth and nail then, of course, also the strategies are split as well. But firstly, talk about your overall emotion about finishing second today. A strong performance.
Um, Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So the race was good. Like I really enjoyed the close battle with us. Yeah, I was trying to play the long game, like doing no mistakes and keep it clean on corner cuts because it's so easy to cut a corner here. And yeah, overall, I think we all had a great performance or a great pace. So we could, I think, drive away from like P5, P6. So we were a little group at the front. I was hoping for a chance to attack Immortal, but again, such a strong race from him. Nearly zero mistakes, and so no chance for me to attack or to overtake. And in the end, in the last few laps, I saw that Cass and Sam had a 3-second penalty, so and Immortal was first, I was third, so there was a car in front of me, and so it was really hard to overtake here. And in the end, I knew Cass had some chances to get on the podium. It was really close in the end, I guess. So yeah, it would have no I had no advantage in battling him, so I was trying to help him to get the podium, and in the end, we all finished on the podium. I'm really happy with that, but congrats to the race winner, to AC Immortal.
I think one of the most decisive factors in this Grand Prix was certainly about what tyres to choose towards the end. There, I was saying in the comms that how surprised I was that not many more people went onto the medium tyres. I think you and Immortal went onto those hard tyres towards the end. Then, did you feel that the medium tyres just wasn't just those 10 final laps was just too long for the mediums?
Yeah, I agree. Like the hard tire was feeling better for me. Like the mediums were good for 3 or 4 laps, and then I had a massive drop in performance. So I'm not sure if it's only on my side or if it's a general issue with the medium tire. So I was planning to go to the hard in the end, and yeah, I think in the end it played well. Like Cass was dropping and Sam. I I think he couldn't he was not able to attack me, maybe because of the medium tire. So I think in the end everything was correct. So I think it was a fine strategy.
And going into this race, then, I was saying it's probably going to be an easy one stop. But did the safety car turn it into a two stop then, or do you think that the best way to run this race was actually just to do a two stop anyway?
I was thinking the same. Like I was starting, and I really was saying, let's do a two-stop, because I guess it would be a little bit quicker overall. But I was not sure what the top two were doing, like Immortal and Cass. I was feeling like they were a little bit tire saving, so maybe doing a one stop. And yeah, I was really not sure what to do. But then the safety car decided the strategy, so I'm fine with that. But my plan was a two stop, but I'm not sure what the other guys were doing.
And towards the end of the race, then I was harping on about maybe the rain coming in. Was you concerned about the rain coming in, or did you? Because it seemed absolutely beautiful sunshine right until lap 30. So was you concerned about the rain coming in to maybe throw an extra curveball into this race, then, or did you think that the rain was never going to hit by the time the race finished?
I saw it in the forecast, but I was a little bit scared after the safety car, because with the safety car the race took longer and then the risk of rain was higher. But in the end there was no rain at all. So yeah, I think it still would have been a dry race, because only one or two laps of light rain wouldn't be enough to make the track wet. But I was just concentrating on my pace, on my strategy, and if it's raining, then you have to pit. If not, you don't have to pit. So it was a decision to do later in the race. So I was concentrating on the moment.
And of course, we move on to Silverstone next week. We're in the heart of the mid part of the season now, with a lot of classic tracks. And Silverstone's coming up next. And how are you feeling for that one? Another podium, another win?
I love Silverstone, but I have a tough week in front of me and behind me, and I'm not sure if I have so much time to practice. So normally I'm doing good there, but I have to see. And even if it's wet or if it's raining, then this is still another story. So we will have to wait and see.
Brilliant drive today, bro. What a drive to second position. That's superlative stuff. And then let's come to
Thank
Cam
you.
then. Cam, this is, am I right in saying that this is your first pole position of your career? Because I'm questioning my stat book here, but what a pole position lap it was.
Yeah, it was incredible. I never thought that it was possible to get a pole position on God, but we made it.
And then throughout the race, then you had a bit of a race on battle with yourself, Brabbit, with Mortal, and then Sam Swift, Ninja, and MHD was also on the outer echelons of that top five battle. Do you feel that would you trade that pole position for a win today, though?
No, I don't think I had the pace to win the race, but yeah, I was just trying to manage the tires, and I was also considering a two-stop, but then like Rabbit says, the safety car came out and just made the decision to make a two-stop. So yeah, I think the safety car helped me a lot, but after my after I received my penalty, I think maybe P1 was possible, but Immortal was really fast.
And of course, you mentioned that safety car. It helped you in the end. Then, and do you feel then that going on to the medium tires towards the race then may have hindered you, or may have hindered you and potentially you getting that second position, or maybe even the win today?
No, I think the my setup was just made a little bit more for the medium tire. It was working quite well on the hard tire, but I thought like, oh, it's 10 laps, and we drove the first 9 or 10 laps on the mediums, and it was feeling quite okay at the end. So yeah, that was why I just made the decision to go on the medium tire instead of the hard tire.
And of course, you was leading right up until I think like lap 33. How difficult is that? I know you had a penalty at the time, but oh, excuse me, I got a big old revving car behind me. But I think that was you just celebrating. But
Yeah.
how difficult was it for you to like with 3 laps to go for a morsel to overtake you? I know you had a 3 second penalty, but sure, that must be quite difficult to swallow.
Yeah, it was just managing the gap and make sure that I will lose not that much time after it overtook me. So that's why I put my ERS off and just let him go and just follow. So I wouldn't lose too much time to Sam Swift. Because luckily he's also received a 3 seconds penalty in the lap 34, I think. So that helped me a lot.
And throughout this race, and I think it's kind of the same story for Gold throughout the season. But with you leading the pack, then you had Sam Swift behind you, you had Brabant behind you, you had Immortal behind you, you had MHD behind you as well. If you made one mistake, then you could have dropped all the way down to P5. How
Yeah.
difficult is that to manage? In how much is that difficult to manage then throughout the race? And it must be quite difficult pressure-wise.
Yeah, I was just managing it and just don't look too much behind me, just drive my own race and then we will see what happened. And yeah, that worked out quite well. But yeah, it was really difficult and the pressure was really high when you have all those guys behind you. So yeah, it was just trying to make no mistakes and just drive. Don't think about it.
Sounds so easy. I wish I could do that. And then going up to Silverstone next week. Then Brabant loves Silverstone. What do you make of Silverstone? Of course, we're at half distance of the season now as well. So, what would you rate your season then coming up to the halfway point in the season? And do you love Silverstone?
No, Silverstone is not really the track that I like the most, but like every year I almost hate the track because it's so difficult for me, but I also get some great results on it. So we will see. Just try to take some points with me and just see what happens.
Really good stuff indeed. And of course, as the season overall, then do you feel that this has been a good season, or do you feel there's still, or do you look back and think, oh, I wish I scored more points here and there? How would you grade your season overall?
Yeah, of course I hope to score some more points on the first couple of races of the season because I made a lot of stupid mistakes also with my concentration for for example last week on Canada I just take so much penalties if I just keep the concentration more like today. Yeah, then I will score maybe 50 points more, but it's okay. Just try to focus for the rest of the season and we'll see what happens.
Really good stuff today to both of you. What a drive indeed from both of you guys to get a podium. Fantastic stuff indeed. And we're now going to move on to silver not next week, tomorrow. And of course, last week we had a lot of drivers missing for silver, so not many things have changed in the Drivers' Championship. Mayran still has an advantage of 29 points with Duke and Marky about just 32 points back. Then Kiki, 54 points back at the moment. Coop was the biggest move of getting his first podium. Fantastic stuff indeed last week there. Really good stuff indeed. Then, of course, we will be in action tomorrow then for another dose of Austria for round number 9 of the championship, I should say. And then, of course, bronze is on Tuesday night as well. Dynamo Dan and Smithy Almighty all level at the top of the championship. 131 points apiece. And Reflections is just 7 points adrift as well. That's going to be a showdown throughout the ages then for the rest of bronze this season. Cannot wait. Can't remember about Wednesday, but that's too far ahead for me. We'll see you tomorrow night for silver. Of course, if